So why did I try lane filtering for the first time? Well, it was this guy, which led to me thinking, why don't I give that a try? Which a few minutes later led to this. Me thinking, I'm gonna give lane filtering a try. I'll show you how that went in just a moment, but first, so what is lane filtering and when can you lane filter? I'll get to that in just a moment, and I'm going to show you some real life examples using my own ride footage, and I'll show you how I got on trying lane filtering for the first time. So I was sat here at the lights, and then this guy went past me lane filtering. You can see my head drop with shame, and I thought, man, one day when I have my full license, I'll be able to do that. And then I thought, hold on a second, I've got a full license. And that led to a few minutes later, me thinking, I'm gonna give lane filtering a try. I'll show you how that went in just a moment. But before that, straight off the bat, I think it's important to mention that lane filtering is not lane splitting. And lane splitting is an offence. Well, here in NSW Australia anyway. And though it might be hard to believe, I'm not a lawyer or a judge. So this is in no way legal advice or anything like that. Don't take my word for any of this. So do your research, look up your local rules for where you live and what applies to you. And the road rules, guidelines and recommendations can be different from state to state, territory to territory, country to country, and they can change over time too. So keep that in mind. To put it briefly, some places let you do whatever, some places have rules and or regulations, and some places don't let you lane filter at all. So it seems to be that the places that let you do it have similar rules, but you still got to check for your area. I'm in New South Wales, Australia, so I can lane filter, but rules and regulations apply, and I might be charged with lane splitting as an offence, and I have to decide if and when lane filtering is safe to do or not. Even if I'm following all the rules, etc., I have to make a judgment call. And even with all of that, the cops might see me and not like something I've done, and they might ping me, and that offence would be called lane splitting. Lane filtering is not lane splitting. So those videos you see of everyone flying through the lines of traffic at high speed, that kind of thing, that's considered by the cops to be lane splitting, and they consider that to be an offence. Well, over here in Australia, New South Wales anyway. In fact, it seems to be that the charge for not lane filtering properly is called lane splitting. So pick that one apart. But basically, yeah, if you're lane filtering, the cops are gonna supposedly give you a thumbs up. But if they think you're doing something wrong or they don't like it at all, they're gonna charge you with lane splitting. And some of this is open to interpretation as well. So you have to keep that in mind as well. For example, only lane filter when it is safe to do so. That's one of the road rules. That's in the rules, right? So that is open to interpretation. That's a judgment call you're gonna have to make if you live here in Australia, or if that rule in your part of the world is similar. So what is lane filtering and when can you lane filter? I'll be using the New South Wales government's information. This is the info on their website, not the road rules, aka the laws / legislation. I'm just shedding a spotlight on what I've seen and found, etc. And these are just my thoughts and opinions. Okay, so I'm gonna jump to their website, the New South Wales government. Lane filtering. When a motorcycle rider moves alongside vehicles that have either stopped or are moving slowly, less than 30 kilometers an hour, is now legal in New South Wales. Basically, it means like if there's 2 lines of traffic or 3 lines of traffic or 4 lines of traffic, and you can see a gap between those, just like that guy did at the start, and everyone's either going less than 30 kilometers an hour or is stationary, you can cruise up the middle as long as you're doing it safely and you're in full control of your motorcycle. So we're talking 30 kilometers an hour, which is approximately 20 miles per hour. The exact conversion says 18.6411, but yeah, you're talking about around about 30 kilometers an hour or around about 20 miles per hour. So that's the first thing to note, I guess. Right, I'm going to read the rest of this stuff very quickly off their website just to give you an overview. What motorcyclists need to know about safe lane filtering. Motorcycle lane filtering is now legal in New South Wales with strict conditions. You must only lane filter when traveling less than 30 kilometers an hour. You can lane filter through stationary or slow moving traffic. If you are caught moving between traffic over 30 kilometers an hour, you face heavy fines and 3 demerit points under a new offence called lane splitting. It is illegal to lane filter next to the curb, next to parked vehicles, or in school zones. You should always look out for pedestrians and cyclists. You should not lane filter around heavy vehicles and buses. You are only allowed to lane filter if you are a fully licensed motorcyclist. You must only lane filter when it is safe. You must comply with all existing road rules when lane filtering. This includes stopping before the stop line at the red light or stop sign, never in front or over it. That's kind of clear and unclear at the same time, in my opinion, and it's like very specific in some bits and a bit vague and open in others. And like this thing about parked cars and stuff and school zones, like there's going to be signage potentially that may apply at different times of the day or not. Zones are going to start and end, and also you should not lane filter around heavy vehicles or buses, but then also you must only lane filter when it's safe to do so. But like the buses and vehicles things, like from what I've seen and heard, that isn't a rule, it's a guideline. The heavy vehicles and the buses, like if there's enough space and you think it's safe to do so. But yeah, there's plenty of room for interpretation here. But yeah, I just wanted to smash those out just for reference and to illustrate and show that there's a lot of rules and regulations around this, and you have to follow these conditions and they're strict. So let's jump into clip 1, aka the clip from the start. In my opinion, this guy was all good. Full license, because he didn't have L's or P's on the back of his bike or anywhere that I could see. The traffic was stationary and he was doing a low speed maneuver, aka less than 30 kilometers an hour. And then clip 2, the guy didn't lane filter this time. So I thought that was really interesting. And then, you know, my thoughts on that were, oh, okay, weird. Like maybe he couldn't do it that time or didn't want to or whatever. And then if we jump to clip 3, the guy didn't lane filter this time either. I thought, whoa, that's interesting. This might be because that rider decided it wasn't safe to do so that time, or either of those times, or maybe it wasn't really necessary. Yeah, interesting, eh? But that's the thing, it's open to interpretation sometimes as well. Let's jump to clip 4. So normally I guess here which lane is best to be in, because often traffic backs up at the lights, but you can't see as you go around the bend. So you got to kind of pick one early, or I try and pick one early so I can have the shortest wait time as possible. I picked well, but thought, why not give lane filtering a try? So nice and controlled, nice and slow, just worked my way through, and it seemed to go pretty well. Yeah, man, that was cool. Like, I don't know, I'd seen the guy earlier doing it. I'd kind of thought about it for the next few minutes on the ride as I showed. And then it was like, well, here's an opportunity. I've got a full license. The cars are stationary. I can be in control of the bike, nice and chilled. Yeah, why not give it a go? And yeah, it worked out fine. I got to the front, lights went green, off I went. Yeah. This is clip 5, so the only other chance I got on that ride to attempt lane filtering or do some lane filtering was here, but these lights are pretty short normally, so I just didn't think it was worth the risk. And it also meant that the sweet sound of a real motorcycle came up beside me, like I could hear it behind me, and here you go, comes up alongside me. I found it pretty interesting to be on an electric motorcycle and an internal combustion engine motorcycle come up next to me. And yeah, just the difference between the two, like that electric motor versus that petrol powered motor or internal combustion, whatever you want to call it. And like the sweet harmony, listen to the sweet harmony between the two of us, their cello to my violin. And then yeah, they get through the lights, and it's a sad, sad moment seeing them ride off into the distance while I sit at the lights contemplating my choices. Recap. Let's do a little recap, cover some takeaway points. So don't lane filter if you do not have a full license. Be aware of the rules, etc., and that they may change. Be aware of your surroundings, so using your mirrors and head checks combo, and be safe. So that means your safety and the safety of others. So basically watch out for pedestrians, cyclists, other vehicles on the road, that kind of thing. You want to make sure you're safe and they're safe as well. In New South Wales, Australia, lane filtering is considered an advanced motorcycle riding technique. So yeah, there's increased risk around it. So that's why there's rules that apply, and that there's some of it is your judgment as well. But yeah, you know, always want you to ride smart, ride safe. And hey, I guess if you don't feel like doing lane filtering or lane splitting, cool. That's a choice we've all got to make, and the people who do any of that stuff, like, you know, that's on them. I'm not making any judgments. Something else that helps with confident riding is knowing that you can stop safely. I covered that in this video here. If it isn't up yet and you don't want to miss it, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. In the meantime, I'm going to link to the playlist for this whole series of videos so you can catch up on any you've missed. Thanks for watching till the end, and until next time, ride smart, ride safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.